Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life. Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey?
Oh my God. Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh my goodness. You could tell I didn't sleep well last night. And it's probably the full moon, actually. It's probably what did it. The full moon with Mars and Cancer. Anyway, so welcome everybody. I hope you're transiting these astrological times in a good way. Hi Melissa from Dacula, Georgia. Hey Alyssa. So Melissa and Alyssa and hi Waters. Hi Ellie. Great to
Hello,
have you
everyone.
with us. Welcome everyone. Hi Nancy. Hi Nancy Garbett in the group. And hi Jennifer. Welcome. I'm so glad everybody's here.
Yes.
We're just getting started. We're just getting gathered round. So, hi Melissa from Colorado. I'm in Colorado too. Hi
Nice.
neighbor. Hi Terry. Um anyway. All right. So, okay. So sometimes there are people that I'm just not going to repeat what they say. Hi Michelle. Welcome. So, I'm glad you guys are here.
Yes.
Um I'm glad you're all here. It's good to have you here. Hi, Nancy. Nancy's in Alberta, Canada.
Oh, hey, you're with me. Hi, Nancy.
I was about to say. About to say it's kind of in your neck of the woods there, Sarah. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer said, "Hope everyone's having a good evening." I hope that's true. Um, it's fun banning people. You know that.
Right. I was looking at some of them and I'm like, really?
I just ban. I don't even repeat what they say. I'm just like ban, ban, ban. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, so if anyone messages you guys, make sure you know that's a spammer. It's a scammer. They are everywhere. And they are always trying to scam you. So be sure if someone messages you and says something stupid, or tries to say that they're connected to your loved one and your loved one's waiting to talk to you. It's probably bullshit. Okay? I probably will never message you. I might message you and say, "Hey, I'm doing a medium class. Do you want to be part of that, or do you know anybody that might want to be?" I might say that. But I probably wouldn't message you and say that I'm talking to your dead dad or whatever. And right, we just don't do that. It's out of integrity. Okay, my friends. So I'm glad you're here today. We're going to be doing spirit led readings, and I look forward to having you all be part of it. And um, Spirit-led readings means that Sarah will start talking about people that have passed, and a spirit on the other side that she's connected with, and your job is to listen and speak up. Okay? So, your job is to listen and say, "Hey, I know that person. Hey, that's my," okay? And then we'll see it, and we'll respond. Okay? So we're going to try to match you up. Hi Tracy, great to have you with us. Hi, Jasmina. Welcome. I think you were here last time, Jasmina. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Julia, Nicole Simpson. And hi, Nancy. All right. All right. So, Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself? Hey, Kaylee and Christine. Glad you guys are joining us.
So, hello everyone. I'm so grateful to have you here with me tonight. I really appreciate all your love and support. And just like Hollis said, it's spirit-led readings. So that just means that I will be describing who's stepping forward, usually about how they would look. So you just have to listen and, speak up if there's something that resonates with you. Don't feel afraid to ask your loved ones to step forward. That's the best. And just know that if you don't get a reading tonight, it does not mean that your loved ones aren't around you or with you. It's just a lot of times they would prefer more of a private reading. My son is like that. And for those of you who've been with us for a while, you know my story. For those of you who are new here, I just always like to kind of say how I got into mediumship. So as a child, I did hear spirits, but then being a child, I didn't do anything about that. And growing up, I just kind of stopped. It wasn't that I stopped hearing them, I just didn't listen. But all that changed on November 26th of 2021. My family caught the COVID-19 virus. We were so desperately sick. It was really devastating. Unfortunately, my son, my only son and my oldest child, he was 20 years old, and I thought he was getting better. But apparently with the strain of COVID we had, it affects younger children and young adults differently. Their bodies will make it look like they're getting better, but the reality is their organs are slowly shutting down. And that's exactly what happened to my son. The day before, he was sitting up in bed playing on his Wii U, and I thought, oh, good, he's finally getting better. And the next day, my daughter, his younger sister, I slept in, and she came and she said, Mom, you better come. And I'll never forget the look on his face as he struggled to breathe. We only lived about a few blocks away from the hospital, so I chose to drive him instead of call an ambulance. And within I would say about 5-10 minutes of being at the hospital, his heart stopped for the first time, and it would stop 4 times before we got up to ICU. And I was there, and I watched as all 7 of the nurses and doctor performed CPR. And for everyone who's been in that situation where they were actually there watching someone so special to them pass, you beg, you plead. And that's what I did. After he passed, I was able to go into the room, and I remember telling him, you come back to me. I told my son, you're Inde, which means of the people. I said, you come back to me. That night, I remember sitting on our sofa, and I was looking down the hallway, and I noticed that his bedroom door was open, and it must have got left open because when I took him to the hospital, and his light was off, and all of a sudden I hear click, and I looked and his light turned on. And like everyone else, when it comes to signs, I was like, my head's all over the place. And then I was looking and I heard click, and then it shut off. And there was no one in his room. My daughters were sitting on the sofa with me. We were all in shock. And I just happened to say, Jonah, and click, his light turned on. And in that moment, I realized that, it wasn't goodbye. And it took me about a good month to 2 months to really be able to get in a state where I was like, you know what, I can't just say goodbye. I started off communicating with him through my pendulum, which again, you have to trust. I knew how to use my pendulum because I used it for years prior. I never used a Ouija board, and I don't, maybe I'm being superstitious, but I won't use one. But I do use my pendulum for communication with him at times. And it was in that moment where I started learning how to say hello again. I joined Hollis's group, and then I met Hollis, and I had the discovery meeting with them. And I remember, oh my goodness, Hollis probably knows how much I was probably bawling through that. And then I asked, even though I was terrified, but I said, I want to learn how. And I explained how I was trying to. And the thing that I have to say that I so greatly appreciate is that Hollis didn't tell me, oh, no, you can't. Instead, they told me, you know what, trust in yourself. Say to yourself. And yes, I thought it felt weird to say it, but Hollis taught me to say, Sarah, I believe in you. I believe in what you're receiving, and I trust in you and what you're seeing or hearing. And I tell all of my clients that, and not just trust in saying if they want to become a medium, but just trust in every day, especially the signs. I do this work now, and it's not just me. My son helps me. So if you notice on mine, it says Sarah Redcrow -2. Funny story about that is when Hollis was making my link, it would not work without putting -2. And that makes perfect sense because I'm on this side of the veil talking to you and giving you messages, but my son plays a huge role. He brings your loved ones to me. So it's not just me, we're a combo deal. And we've always been, I was 15 when I had him, so we grew up together. I always love showing a picture of my son. In this picture, he was about 17. We were walking, and this butterfly landed on his shoulder. Oops, sorry. So as you can see, the butterfly, sorry, I'm trying to get this. That is my baby. This is Jonah. He is the one who helps guide your loved ones to us. At every one of the lives, he likes to show himself. He always wore fedoras. That was his thing. He was 20 years old, but he's never been to a club or anything like that. My son never drank, smoked, nothing. He was perfectly happy playing his video games or doing other hobbies. But he always shows me during the live, he's standing there and he's got his hands, his arms crossed, his fedora. He shows me he's in his suit. He's so handsome in that suit. That suit was for his graduation, and it's a suit that I laid him to rest in. But he shows it's like a velvet rope. Not red, it's blue. Blue is our color. But he helps bring them through. So And, not only Hollis, but I also like to give us another shout out to another medium that is near and dear to my heart as well is Stacy Siegel Brickley. They've had the same like Hollis trust in me and built me up. And I couldn't be more grateful for each of them. They're a very important part of my life. And Bright Hawk as well. So thank you all so very much. And thank each and every one of you here tonight. Yeah, let's get to it. And again, feel free to ask your loved one to step forward. And don't feel bad if they don't. It does not mean that they're not around you. And just know it's never really goodbye. And I'm here to help you say hello again. Thank you.
So I just want to say that there's a bunch of people saying a bunch of very supportive things. You're welcome, Waters. I believe in everybody. I believe we're all capable of more than we ever give ourselves credit for, including myself and including you, Waters. I believe that about everyone, actually. And it's so hard and traumatic, something that will be with you always. I lost my son at 32. I'm glad he is with you in spirit. And your son is with you too, Melissa, I assure you. Hi, Jasmina. Thanks for sending love. And Courtney, hello, and I love that you are a package deal. What a beautiful message from Hollis to you and from you to us for a blessing. And Jonah is always with us. That's right. And Jasmine said hello. And Melissa's thanking you for sharing your gift. And Julia said, I'm so sorry for your loss. No mother should lose a child. This touches my heart. My mom helps me as well. That's how I started. And Jade said, I really appreciate you and your son. What a beautiful gift. Gilly said, I hope my loved one steps forward. Kit says, okay, Kit, welcome, Kit. Afternoon from Zealand. Happy afternoon. Welcome, Nandita. It's good to have you all with us today. Hi, Susan. We're glad you're with us. All right. All right, Sarah.
Okay, let's start.
You got this.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. So I do have an elderly lady stepping forward. She comes in and she has a walker. It's funny because there's another lady just behind her and she's like helping her forward, but they're not together. This lady, I would put her, I would say anywhere from late 80s to 90s. And she's showing me the number 96. So I'm thinking that that might have been her age of passing. Her hair, it is so white. It looks so fluffy. I do feel that she did in life either got it like permed, but she's making me aware that especially in her later years, it was more like those little tiny curlers. She's just saying that her hair got really like delicate, so she wasn't able to do the perm, but that was kind of one of her things that she used to like to do, was to go to the salon and just sit and chat. The outfit that she's showing me, so she's wearing a dress. It kind of comes just a little bit below her knees. She did like to wear the kind of tan color stockings, and the dress is a light mauve color, and she has a white little knitted, it looks like a shawl over her shoulder. She's wearing glasses. The frames, they almost look kind of like a clear frame. When she steps forward, I get this smell of like lavender or lilacs almost. That's what I want to say more lilac. I just, would you, so she's also showing me that she would take like a little bit of Vaseline and put behind her ears and then like spray a little bit perfume. And she said, especially when she was younger, she would do that and like put a little perfume on her wrist and rub them together. She's saying that when she was younger, and she shows me an image of her at a way younger age, and she was a beauty. I'm not saying that she's not beautiful now, but she has the classic, 1950s hairdo. At the time, her hair was kind of almost like a toffee color, and she would wear red lipstick. She just had that almost like old Hollywood movie star look about her. And when I say that, I'm like kind of mean like her face, the way she would put her makeup, it wasn't overly heavy. She said that she lived a very long life. Would anybody be able to take her?
So there's two people currently claiming that they might be okay. So Jasmine said my grandma was 93 when she died. Yes, she would perm her hair. Sounds like my grandmother, everything you were saying. And just now she said my grandmother loved her red lipstick. And then Julia Nicole Simpson in the group also said, she didn't say anything about the lipstick yet, but she did say that some other things matched. Like she said, like this sounds like my mama Julia. She was 98. It all resonates. Purple was her color.
Okay. So Julia, would you understand? And I know this seems like such a generic question because everyone cooks, but she was like the head of the household. Yes, she's saying that my husband, took care of, like, she's saying like finances and, housework. She's correcting me, outside housework, but her kitchen was like her work area, and not in the sense of like, oh, you're a woman, so kitchen is your place, but it was more, she's showing me her, like, it looks like she's kneading dough, and I see a younger woman coming in. This younger girl, she looks to be, I want to say like maybe in her mid-teens. This image that she's showing me, I would place her in her 70s at the time, because I do feel that later on in life, before she passed, even though she did try to keep active, kneading bread and dough was a little bit more of the question, because she's showing me her hands. I feel she did carry arthritis in her hands. But what she's making me aware of is that when she'd be in the kitchen cooking or something, she's saying it would range from her children or her grandchildren. She says even the neighbor would come by and like ask her advice. And she kind of had a little antidote for everything, but she would kind of say it more as, well, for example, because she's showing me her kneading the dough. And she says, well, if you knead it too hard and you're not paying attention, she said, your bread is not going to be good. It's not going to be fluffy. And she would use that way of teaching, as in saying, if you push too hard on a subject, whether it be a relationship that, one person is doing all the work and just pushing the want for the relationship, but the other person is kind of, this isn't working, and trying to back off. Instead, where you think that pushing forward and trying to make it better, it's just going to turn out hard and no good, like the dough. Would you be able to understand that? Um,
Oh,
I
oh, she did say something.
okay.
Yes, we all listened to her. Papa was great, but Mama ran the show. Whoops, whoa, wait. Sorry, I accidentally clicked her name. Um, but Mama ran the show. We are both head cooks in the kitchen. She worked at Subway for years with bread, and that's my mom she is with.
Okay. Um, so your mom is also in spirit with her then?
And she's laughing. Okay, so first of all, she also said, um, I have my mama's hands and her name. Yes, homemade bread and the best key lime pie ever. She was a warrior. She was bossy in the kitchen. I used to say just because I don't do it your way doesn't mean it's wrong.
That's
Okay. Okay. And she's like saying Mama was kind of bossy. Okay, which is kind of what you said. Yeah.
she she's saying because she's listening to Hollis and she says, I wasn't bossy. She goes, I just knew what was right. She goes, you don't listen. But she does. She's blowing you kisses. Did she have a hearing aid that when you went to go hug her, it would like whistle, like just give this like high pitch? And she's would you understand her saying when it happened, she'd be like, oh, my ear is kissing you. Um, she's just saying for you, would you understand? Because I know you said that, she was head in her kitchen and your head in your kitchen. Um, she does want you to know that she's very proud of you. And she says, keep that tradition alive. She wants to see in every generation. She says, she says, there will be in every generation the one that will carry on the tradition to be, using the kitchen as not only a place to feed, but almost like she says therapy. She says, I'm not knocking therapy. She goes, but she says, you like, why pay when you can come to me, like, or to the grandmother of the household. But she does because she's very wise. And she says, she puts her hand up. She goes, but if you need to talk to those professionals, you do. She goes, I know lots, but I don't know everything. So Julia Nicole Simpson, no hearing aid, but I had to yell a little bit later in life. Fair enough. So her advice for you is just, keep on family traditions. She goes, one day you'll be old like me. And she goes, and you'll have your grandchildren to come. She goes, you teach them. She goes, kids nowadays, they don't know what hard work is unless you teach them. She goes, because that's the role of a parent and child. People put too much expectation on children to just know what to do. She goes, but when I was a child, when she says, she's like, when I was a child, I didn't know what to do unless someone told me. And she goes, that's the thing nowadays is parents are too scared to discipline their children or teach them. So the children come and think that they know everything, but know nothing. And she says, us as parents and adults need to take charge again and, be there for the children because they're children. They don't know nothing unless you teach them. So Julia said, yes, I'm going to take her recipe book from my dad. He doesn't use it. I took all her kitchen aids. She had the best. She says, that's good. She goes, use it. I don't know why she's kind of making me feel that your dad might, even though he doesn't use her cookbook, that he might be a little hesitant to give it to you. But she says if you tell him that you'll make my recipes for him, he might be a little bit more willing. um, would you understand her saying, first she says that you have always been such a good girl, so that's how she, very sweet, caring. um, she goes, would you understand her saying, but mind your dad? And I think she's kind of going back to the cookbook. Would you understand your dad's stubborn? Oh, sorry, I keep talking about it. So Julia says, no kids. And yes, she is right. I'm glad I was born in the 80s. She was born in 1923. She was my best friend and grandmother. I thought mom would come through, but glad to hear from her. I'm kind of wondering if the lady that was helping her come through wasn't your mom. Would you understand your mom being a little bit more shy? She shows me her being a little bit taller than her mother, but where your grandmother says, I was a good height. I just age shrunk me, is what she's saying. She said age shrunk her. I do have another lady. I'm just going to ask her if she can step forward quickly to see if this might be your mother. So the lady stepping forward, she's a little bit taller. Her back wasn't as stooped. I would put her maybe 50s to, yeah, kind of between early to mid 50s, maybe early 60s. She has straighter hair, comes to her shoulders. Her hair is, it's like a very light blonde, but her eyebrows are a little bit darker. So I'm trying to figure out if that was her natural color. She just has a very gentle smile. She's slim in the face, nice cheekbones. Her hands are very slender. But I feel that she either had to work a lot with her hands because they kind of have that appearance of like, they're not soft, but they're not like overly calloused either. I do feel that she knew how to hold her own. But she has this gentle side about her too. How she is showing me her dress is how she's dressed, not dressed. She has blue jeans on. She has kind of like a beige top, and she's wearing, I want to say a white cardigan, long sleeved, and it's a little bit like longer. Would you be able to recognize her, Julia? Julia says, yes, I don't like my dad, only love him. And you know what? That's okay. We don't have to like our parents. And I'm not too sure if you have children, but sometimes we don't even like our children. I say that as a parent, but we always love each other. And that's what matters. So I was just kind of wondering, would you be able to take the other lady that stepped forward? Oh, so Julia Nicole Simpson, it was It was mom. Mom was definitely shy and taller than Mima. Um, Mima did age better. Mom had lots of grief. Mom was 61 when she passed. Mom was brunette but built beautiful smile. Sorry, I was having a hard time seeing the. So, Julia, I do feel that I do have your mom. I'm just trying to place why she was showing me her hair lighter. I'm not too sure if she was starting to get more gray in her hair, and that's where I'm getting the confusion. So she's also showing me, did your mom like to be in the garden? Like, it's not your typical garden. Like, yeah, I see it looks like a little vegetable garden, but she's also showing me this like little tray, and I feel that she might have grew her own herbs because she's showing me like her clipping some. And I do feel that she was a good cook too. Her was more, would you understand her? She really enjoyed cooking from scratch a lot. So less processed, more, well, from scratch is what it is. So would you understand her saying to you, "Hi, baby"? She goes, "I'm all right." She says, it was hard, especially seeing how much you grieved when she passed. So Julia says, yes, she got gray and would not let me dye it. Yes, her flower beds was her favorite place to be. Do you carry on with flower beds and just so I'm getting led to feel that your mom really had like a green thumb, and she's saying that you got your cooking from your Mima, but like your green thumb from her. And I feel that your mom was really kind of a naturalist, because when I was reading about you wanting to dye her hair, she was like, "Oh no." She's like, I don't want that chemicals in my head." She's like, "It get in my brain." I do feel that she had kind of a quirky personality as well. So Julia Nicole Simpson says, yes, mom cooked until her health gave away. Then it was me. I started cooking at 12 years old. She always called me baby. Oh, well, Julia, your mom is so proud of you. She says it is not easy when you have to say goodbye to physically to your mom. She goes, I know. She goes, but she says, you were such a brave girl. She's like, I know that you weren't a child anymore, but you'll always be my baby. She says, I'm always there with you. Your mom, so when she kind of comes by me, like where your Mima had more of that lilac smell, your mom almost has like, it kind of reminds me like a vanilla, but like with a certain kind of spice, but I can't put my finger on it. It's not so much like a peppery, but I keep on, and I'm gonna butcher this, so I apologize. But I keep hearing like patchouli. Oh my goodness, Hollis, if you know how to say it.
Patchouli.
Thank you.
Trying to say patchouli. And Julia said, I tried to start a flower bed, but I have a black thumb. I tried to had to keep killing snakes. I won't do.
Fair enough. If I had snake, no, I don't do snakes. But your mom is saying, well, she goes, trust in yourself. She goes, you'll find your calling. And she says, that's the thing. She goes, if I have one thing to tell you is you grab life by the horns, listen often. She says, don't rush headlong into decision making. And she goes, and don't, out of everything, don't ever let anyone tell you that you're doing something wrong when you know in your heart and in your head that you're doing the right thing. I hope that you can take that from her. And she says, don't you worry about us two. She goes, we keep each other very busy and in company. She does visit you often. When you're a little girl, did she often, so she's kind of showing me her sitting on the edge of the bed, and I can hear her humming, and it's like she's brushing the hair out of your eyes. And I can't really hear what she's humming, but I just hear sweet baby. She goes, my baby, my sweet, sweet baby. I do feel that she does do that still. Because how I see when our loved ones show me them visiting us in spirit, it's like they'll show me a scene and everyone else is solid, but they're kind of translucent.
She said that, yes, Mom and I had a great relationship, but a better relationship after she passed. Mom smelled like vanilla musk. You're spot on.
Oh, thank you. Well, Julia, I'm just going to leave you with that message from both your mother and your Mima. They're such lovely women. And just know that they have your back 100%. And they say, you know, when you have those questions, what would Mom do? What would Mima do? She says, just close your eyes and we'll try our best to let you hear us. Your mom's jokingly, and she says, I know your dad's stubborn, but she says, don't let his gruffness get to you. I'm not too sure what that means, but she's laughing and she shows me, I don't know if your dad has darker hair, but I see this man. I only see a side profile of him, and it's like he's sitting in a lazy boy, feet up. I kind of see him wearing glasses, and she comes and she swats his shoulder, but it's in a playful manner. But I'm just sending you so much love and light, Julia, and thank you. Oh, and Nadia says, you're always awesome. Oops.
She said that you're awesome. Nadia said that you're awesome. Love you both, Sarah and Hollis. Julia said, thank you. And yes, I can. We're still very close. Yes, she always brushed my hair out of my face. And yes, I still feel her do it. She wants me to be solid with my mediumship. Lots of people are cheering you on. Jade also got vanilla musk and she got the chills. And, you know, lots of people are saying lots of great things about you. And and JR loved the message. Honestly, if adults guided children better, we wouldn't have such half the issues we have in the world. That's probably true, JR. I hope the world changes in this direction. Me too. And JR also said Julia's grandma's right. That's the solution for better tomorrow for all. Another great reading, Tracy said, and Terry is cheering you on there. What a wonderful reading. Susan sending her love, and Betty Cooper sending lots of hearts. Aww. And, you know, and Christina in the group said, so detailed and beautiful as always. And thank you. And Julia said, thank you so much, Sarah. You're amazing. Mom was the funniest. I will never let him take control. Mom is my strength. That's my pawpaw in the recliner. Thank you.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, Julia. It's a pleasure, honestly. Thank you for being here tonight. And I want to thank your mother and your Mima. They're strong women. And it was a pleasure. Let's see who I have else here tonight. So I do have a younger male stepping forward. He's quite tall. I'd put him maybe 6'1", 6'2". Uh, he's like very slender build. He's got darker hair that he kind of had it a little bit longer in the front. It was actually kind of a little bit longer all over, but not like down to his shoulders. Just kind of, he had this shaggy look about him, and he has the most intense blue eyes. He has, again, I said he's slender, kind of shaggy, darker brown hair, very intense blue eyes. He shows me him wearing a black zip-up hoodie, gray t-shirt underneath, blue jeans. I want to say that he looks to be anywhere from 18 to 21 at the most. I do feel that he's shy, and he's showing me that he does have a little bit of freckling on his face. He's very handsome, actually. Very nice jawline. I'm not too sure why, but he does this thing where he kind of like flexes to make his jawline like really pop. And I don't know whoever's familiar with this term. I know it just because of my youngest, but he's like, I'm mewing. I guess it's where you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth to make your jawline look more. He's laughing because he's like, did I make you feel uncomfortable? It's like, I do feel that he really liked kind of more like the heavy metal type music, but I do feel that he did play guitar, and when he played guitar, he could pretty much play any genre. He's showing me him playing, the classic Smoke on the Water, and then kind of going more into like a deeper, he's saying it riff. And then he says that he played the more classic like blues and country. He says he would play that especially for his grandfather. I do feel that him and his grandpa were very close. He's saying that like his grandfather was kind of like his dad. I'm not too sure if his dad wasn't in the picture with him growing up, but he spent immense time with his grandfather. His grandfather, how he's showing me, I would put him maybe in his 70s. He has graying hair. It is starting to thin on top. He wears glasses. And he's showing me that they would like do fishing trips together, and his grandpa worked with wood. So he was like he was just always there, like teaching him new things. I do feel that the grandfather obviously was with his mother's father. His mom, how he's showing me, she's a little bit taller, not as tall as him. Like he's laughing. He goes, I was the giant of the family. She has about shoulder length, straight, lighter brown hair. So I'm kind of wondering if his hair, because it was quite dark, if he might have dyed it. So Susan Lynn says, sounds like my Joshua. She says,
He says everything except the age. He taught himself to play Smoke on the Water. And yes, his grandfather was a father figure.
Okay. Julie, was he younger or a little bit older? Because sometimes when our loved ones in spirit, they will show them at an age younger or older. I might have misinterpreted his age just because of his height. Would you be able to understand how tall he was? And Jade says, sounds like my cousin Jeremy. He passed away right before he was 21. Okay. And Jade, besides the age, what else could you? Oh, Jade Alyssa says he was very musical. Okay. Would either of you ladies be able to take how he looked? Because sometimes I do get like piggybacking each other, so two will come in at once. So this young man does have a very good sense of humor, because he just does, like, he shows me, he like twirls around, he's like, I don't got no one on my back. So, but he's laughing. For his personality, it was like, it was hard for him to be serious. I do feel that when he was younger, he was kind of the class clown. Mom or would get like a lot of kind of phone calls, not in the part where he was like always in trouble, but usually, say, parent teacher, it'd be like, oh, he was doing this today. And it was like he couldn't help it. He just liked to have fun. Oh wow, Joshua was 6'5", so very, very tall. Okay. Susan, would you be able? Oh. Okay. So I do feel that I might be with Susan. Susan, would you understand the very blue, intense eyes? He had dark hair, a very funny personality. He was the class clown. He was 31. Okay. And would you understand like the very intense blue eyes? And for Jade, your cousin Jeremy, sorry, I keep going back and forth between you, but was his hair a little bit lighter, not as dark? So Susan said his grandfather and him loved to play guitar together. Susan, and does your I assume this is your father. Did he also do like woodwork, and did they do a lot of fishing trips? He was tall, but not that tall. Okay. So I do feel that I have two standing here. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on Susan, and then I'm gonna focus on the other and give you a little bit more information. Okay, Susan, he had the most beautiful blue eyes. Would you understand him going, bingo, mom, you won. I'm your prize. Do you like it? That's what he's showing me right now. That's what he's doing. He just, it was like, even though he was 31, it was like he just had that childlike about him, not saying that he was a child, but just he lived in the moment. Oh, he loved to fish, both of them. That's what Susan says. He's just saying, he goes, Mom, he goes, it's okay. I'm okay. And he says, I know that I told you. It's, again, I really feel that he has a hard time being serious. He goes, I know I told you 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. He goes, but I'll tell you always, you were the best mom. If you don't mind me asking, because he's just making me feel, were you a single parent? Because he just says, my mom literally did everything for me. He goes, I don't know if she knows just how much I appreciated everything that she'd done for me. And especially being so understanding, because where he was just like, that goofiness about him. And he goes, I'm always being told, you got to be more serious. You got to be more serious. And he goes, I did try. But he's like, Mom always told me just to be who I am. Would you be able to understand that? Susan says, yes, laugh. That is him. Okay. So he just wants to say that one, you rock. He goes, and don't worry. He's like, I'll always be your son. He says, me and you are like peanut butter and jelly. We're like peas in a pod. He goes, I'm not too sure, but did he? So when he says peanut butter and jelly, and then when he said peas in a pod, he's like, ugh. So I'm not too sure if he just didn't really care too much for the vegetable peas or vegetables in general. I feel like with him, he was just always out for the next adventure. And I was just wondering, did he have some like I feel like almost like chest issues. It was like as he's getting excited, I could feel like my heart like starting to beat really, really fast. Oh, he hated peas. Okay, yeah. That makes sense where he was like, we're like peanut butter and jelly, and then peas in a pot. And he's like, ugh. So sorry, I was just I got distracted by that. He hated peas. I do feel that he's just making me aware, especially at the time of his passing, because I do feel that his passing was very, very sudden. He shows me putting his hands together and like he slaps them together, like to indicate like just how that was. It was like one moment he was here and then it was just like boom, and he wasn't. He just says that he goes, I want my mom to know that as soon as I realized I was on this side, that he right away came back to check on you, because he was like, I can't leave mom. He says, Mom, he goes, he says he's your Jiminy Cricket, your guiding star. Okay. So Susan says, I understand the heart. It was congenital. So it was, I do want to say his passing kind of had led up to that. How he's making me feel. It was like he was, would you understand? He's kind of trying to walk me through it. And it was like he was having just a normal day, but started feeling a little bit more sluggish. And he kind of felt like maybe he was getting a flu or something. And then it was just like he felt like his heart was just kind of racing. He couldn't catch his breath. But he said it just happened so very fast. He does say that Mom, he goes, I still am with you. He goes, I love you so, so much. And I just want you to know just how much you mean to me. Susan says, I'm so glad he didn't suffer. He always said he'd never leave me alone. And that makes me understand why he showed me that as soon as he realized where he was, he did right away come back to you. He was showing me, so I don't want to say, it doesn't look like a regular sofa, but I see it's like you're sitting there, and it's like I feel that that's that moment when you were told that he passed, because I just see you like going like this, and he shows me him sitting beside you and rubbing your back, and I just heard, it's okay, Mom, it's okay, Mom, don't cry. Susan said he stayed home due to a headache, but he was murdered. Oh, Susan, I'm so sorry. Just know that he did come back to you. He says, I'll never leave my mom. He goes, I know that physically I'm not there, but he says, I'm always by your side. He does say, he goes, don't worry, Mom. He says, I'm still making mischief. I don't know why he's showing me, but do you ever sometimes hear, especially late at night, say if you're sitting in your living room or something, he's showing me. So I don't know if your living room, where if you look down the hallway, your bathroom's there, but does it ever sometimes sound like, I don't know, the shower curtain is rustling? So Susan said, he's always with me. Yes, he is. He's very much with you, Susan. And just you hold on to that. I do feel that it's not that he's trying to scare you, but I do feel that just with his nature being like fun loving, he was just saying, he goes, I'm not trying. He goes, okay. He's like, maybe I'm trying to give her a little, he says thrills and chills, like by him rustling it. Oh, yes, every night, Susan says. Just know that it is him. Did you and him like to watch scary movies together? That's what he was making me feel, because I see you sitting there and the TV's on. And do you often kind of like not bite your nails, but it's like you hold your hand like this? And he's like, I like to make the rustling noises because, especially when Mom's overthinking, he goes, I want her to get out of her head and just to her to know that I'm here. And he just wants to say that you did everything perfectly as a parent. And he says, I love you so much. And just know that I will never leave you. And he goes, I'm waiting. He's like, I'll be here. He goes, Mom, he goes, don't let what happened to me keep you a hostage as well. He says, it's okay to smile and laugh. And just know that I'm smiling and laughing with you. Susan says, down the hallway in the bathroom, he would try to scare me. Always watch them together. Yes. That's really beautiful. My son hated scary movies, but we always used to watch Ghost Adventures. That was the only thing that we'd watch together. So I know that bond. He's just saying, he says, Mom, again, I love you. He goes, don't be afraid to have your own adventures still. He goes, because I'm going to be right there with you. And you know that. So I'm just going to thank him for stepping forward. And thank you, Susan, for being here.
She does say he makes them when I'm in my head. As I was saying that, you said it. It's so hard without him.
I know. It's different, especially being a mother. And, we know our babies are here, but we want them here. Physically. I get that. But just have that faith and trust. And I love the fact that you knew when you were hearing or getting the signs, that you knew without a doubt that that was your boy. And you keep that, okay? Thank you again for joining tonight. So I'm just going to bring forth the other gentleman that I felt. So for him, I would put him maybe about 5'12" at best. So his body type, it's not as, it's kind of in the middle. He has like really broad, like kind of broad shoulders. Every time when I think of it, how to describe him, he's kind of like more a little bit of a stocky build, but on the thinner side of stocky build. His hair is a lighter brown. I would kind of put a medium brown. It does have a little bit of that curl. His eye color, I would put them more of a hazel. Alyssa, I'm not too sure if you're still here, but I'm just curious if this does sound like your cousin that you're wondering about. For him, he's wearing blue jeans. I see white sneakers. His sneakers they look like well worn. Not in the falling apart sense, but I do feel like for him, you know, he didn't really pay too much to following the current fashion. Jade Alyssa says, sounds like my cousin. Would you understand for him, he kind of had that, he was friendly, but had more of that brooding, kind of like whatever. If if his buddies would say, hey, Jeremy, let's you want to go to the mall or something? He's like, whatever, sure. But when he felt really relaxed around you, he kind of like blossomed, like opened up. And he's making fun of me because he goes, did you just call me a flower? I'm like, yes, I did. So I described his shoes and his pants. The shirt that I'm seeing, so he has a black t-shirt on. It's a little bit oversized. And then would you understand that he sometimes would put a long sleeve underneath? He's giving me like really like 90s, early 2000 vibes. He did a lot of walking. So Jade, he played baseball. The shoes were always well worn. Yes, he was a very whatever. He was really good. Was he a pitcher when he played baseball? I do feel that like he's just saying, he goes, I could pitch, he's like, it's baseball. So Jade said, I hadn't seen him in person since he was a toddler because we lived in different states. Okay. So I'm just going to see if maybe I'll ask him if he has like a message for you. Would you understand him saying, he goes, I was such a cute toddler. And I'm just going to say it how he says it. He's referring to himself as he was so cute that his looks could get him out of trouble as a toddler. So he's showing me like these big expressive eyes, but he says, I was a little shit. And he says that in a term of endearment. I feel that with him, he was also very kind of blunt with his wording. And oh, Jade, I'm so sorry. Jade, Alyssa says he passed away right after my brother did. He is saying, he goes, yeah, we're here together. He goes, you know, how he puts it is, so I'm just trying to like really hear them. He says, we're taking names and raising hell. He laughs about that. So he's just saying that, you know, we're still do our own mischief. And he goes, well, what's allowed? He goes, you know, we're making the most of our life. Now, Alyssa says, OMG, yes, I was 14 and he was little self, was so rotten cute. He was like always just sticky too. Like when he was little, he's showing me, I see these like you said, curly, but not permed. He had that natural curl to his hair. And I just see him in a diaper, chubby cheeks, stickiness over him. And he knew that he was adorable in the sense of he could, I don't know, maybe go. He's showing me, you know, those old style Nintendo games. And I see him kind of like walking up and just like unplugging it or pressing the button with people playing, but it was like the older kids. And if they would try to be like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? He'd bring that tear. Jade Alyssa says, OMG, yes, he was younger version of my brother. Your brother, so was he a little bit taller than him? Would you understand his hair? I almost want to like put it kind of a golden and brown color, like lighter, but when it hit the sun, it like had those highlights. And did he wear a baseball cap that he would kind of pull down more? Jade Alyssa, my nickname was Chubby Cheeks, and then he was born and he got the nickname. Oh, so I'm guessing you were the baby before the baby. So I do have another gentleman stepping in with him, how I described him. He was taller than Jeremy. He kind of had more of that athletic type body to him. By that, I mean like a little more broader shoulder. Do you know, I think they're called lettered jackets. You see them on high school, like almost like jocks and that. He's showing me a type of jacket like that. So the front is blue and it kind of looks like that felt material, and the arms are the white leather. He's showing me him wearing blue jeans. His shoes, they're white runners, but they're not as worn as your cousin's. And he has like a darker, like almost like a navy blue baseball cap. I can't see, there's a logo on the front, but I can't really make it out. And when he smiles, would you understand, did your brother have like a dimple? So Jade Alyssa, slightly taller. Yes, we have auburn hair. Okay. And yes, I have his New York Yankees hat collection. My brother came to me in my dreams and was begging me to help him find his hats. Oh, Jade, I know that dreams like that, they do feel alarming. Oh, Jade Alyssa, white Air Force Ones and ball cap. Oh, perfect. Your brother, and I'm not saying that your cousin wasn't just as handsome, but he almost had this like, he kind of has this like baby face look, but would you understand that he always had a girl on his arm? And usually she was like petite blonde, or I keep on getting this like really like cheerleader vibe. I would feel this was more in like high school. Your cousin is like, hey, he goes, I got the ladies too. So I do feel like both of them, it's funny, they're young, but they remind me of like two old men, like back and forth bantering. But as I was saying about the dream and the hats, just know that your brother is well aware where his hats are. He knows that you're keeping them safe, as he would. Sometimes when we have dreams or visitation dreams of our loved ones, it's weird. It's like we get that sense of, oh, it's you, but then there's always like something that is just a little bit off. So don't worry about that. He's all right. Jade Alyssa, always he was a player. He dated the head cheerleader. Okay. Would you understand him going like this? He goes, looks like these. He goes, I could get anyone I wanted. But I do feel he's saying, he's making me feel that even though he was a player, he did have the respect for women. He's saying, make sure you say that because I don't want any haterators on me or hater gators. He says, he wants to make sure that you know that even though, are you his younger sister? would you understand him always being like protective of you? And he's just wanting you to know that even though he's not physically here anymore, he has your back. He goes 110%. He's just saying, he goes, let our moms know that we're safe. And he goes, we'll be here when you guys get here. He was just saying it'll be a banging family reunion, but he goes, unfortunately, sis, he goes, you're not allowed to come until you're really old and gray because only one of us could still look good up here. He's laughing when he says this, but he does say, if he could tell you one thing is follow your heart, listen to your head. And I don't know, Jade, if you are in a relationship or married, but he was just saying, he goes, but don't fall for every pretty boy. Make sure they have good intentions. So Jade, Alyssa, the dream stopped once I got the hats from my mom. I knew it was him. Aw, that's beautiful. Jade, Alyssa, his music album cover had his hands on his face, just how you did it. Okay, so he had his own music album. That's cool. Jade, he was protective but harsh to my face. Would you understand him saying, well, yeah, he's like, I couldn't like let you knew that I actually liked you. I do feel that that's like a sibling thing. He goes, I always love you. He goes, I hope you knew that. He said, yes, my protectiveness seemed much at a time, but he goes, I had to. He goes, I didn't want you to get hurt. Jade, Alyssa, that's exactly what he would say. I got married after he passed, and he used to call my husband the pretty boy. That's so amusing. I just want you to know that both of them are still, they're good. They're safe. They said that they're still very much around you. Your cousin is mentioning, and I don't know if you have a child, a little boy of your own, but he was just calling him Slugger. So I don't know if it's you or there's someone in the family that has a little boy that's into baseball, but your cousin just kind of call him. He's like, get out there, Slugger. Jada, listen, he always said I was adopted. Oh, that's funny. I just want to again let you know that they are safe. They're very much around you, and your brother's being funny. He goes, yeah, looking. I don't know if your parents have a safe or something, but he says, yeah, look in mom and dad's hideaway. You'll find the papers. And then he says, I'm kidding. But I just want to thank both of them for coming through tonight. And thank you, Jade, Alyssa, for being here tonight to receive their messages.
And just so you know, she validated, and she said my 3-year-old and my 9-year-old and my 16-year-old all play baseball. She said I have my birth certificate in a safe. Haha. Okay. And so I agree. Lots of people are saying beautiful reading. Yes, another beautiful reading. Sarah, you are a beautiful soul. Susan said such a beautiful reading. Crystal said beautiful reading. And Susan gave lots of hearts, and so did Tracy. And so lots of people are complimenting you. And I agree, Sarah, that, your readings are really spot on and beautiful. And, you guys, doing this kind of work in the world is beautiful and rewarding. It's also sometimes exhausting. So I just want to say that please, if you got a reading tonight, please write a reading review in the group if you can. Um, you love what Melissa said. I love when the personalities come through so much. And Carrie, I want to address you. You said I booked a reading with Nicole. Sorry, Sarah. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
We all work together, Carrie. We are not in competition. That's what this is about. This is a team. Um, and for tomorrow, she said, I'm super nervous and excited. Well, that's pretty normal. Every time I watch these readings, I love watching all of you and all you do, but Nicole seems very familiar to me, like I know her. Okay, it's probably a good place to start. I'd eventually like to try everyone, but I'm very drawn to Nicole. But I can't wait. You're all amazing. I would say end with me. Don't come to me, Carrie, until I'm last. Okay, because I'm blunt and boy, sometimes I'm a lot to take. But you come to me for the astrology death chart reading when you're, after you've had a few medium readings. I always recommend it for later in the grieving process. So I agree that Sarah is amazing. She is amazing. I agree. And Sarah, one of the reasons I think that you're so powerful is because you connect with your son, and your son comes through with you. I think that's one of the reasons why you're so accurate. Actually, I think it has a lot to do with that. I think uh, that using your own spirit guides to connect with others and having them makes the messages a little bit more clear, because that's how I do readings, but not everybody does that. So some readers learn to do it a different way, and all readers can have their own way, but I personally think calling on your own spirit guides to help you out is like, that's the way to go. So
it is.
Cheryl said, beautiful job, Sarah. See, we
Thank
don't compete in this group. See, so
thank you.
Mama Cole's recovering with a messed up hand, so we can send her hand some loving, healing vibes. See, Carrie, we don't compete here. We all cooperate with each other. And Carrie said I can read people, and I was going to save you for last because I know you are very blunt, but I love bluntness. I need it once in a while. That's right. But you need compassion right now. So Nicole and Sarah, they're really good. If when you start to need bluntness, that's when you come to me. You might go to Mama Cole first. She might be a little bit more blunt, and then I'll be straight up. You're not gonna no bullshitting you. That's not me. I don't bullshit. It's just not my way. It's my astrology has set me up this way. I agree, Tracy, that Sarah is amazing.
Thank you.
Um, Susan said Sarah had my son's sense of humor spot on and his love for me and everything. Yeah, you're welcome, Susan. That's what
Well,
she's saying. Your reading was accurate.
oh,
JR's like, Mama Cole. Sarah's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, don't you guys like that? Like, don't you think it's better that all the mediums cooperate with each other rather than compete with each other? Um,
makes
I
sense.
think that it certainly simplifies things, eh? And we've definitely, all of us that are part of Psychic Insights, except for our newest edition, Tabby, we've all witnessed some crazy competition and some crazy behaviors as a result of those competitions. And sometimes mediums can be competitive, but that's one of my rules. Is like everybody just needs to get along and we all need to support each other because we all need love. And frankly, there's plenty to go around. And most people, I actually recommend that part of the healing process that you visit as many mediums as you can find. So, isn't it nice to have one service where you can just go see a different medium? If you plan yourself to have one reading a month or something as your self care, and you go to a different reading, go see Sarah one time, Nicole another time. We have a new person. Her name is Tabby. She'll probably be doing some lives next week, and maybe just save me for last. Just always save me. That's the only rule. Save me for last. Anyone that has lost a son, go see Sarah. Anyone that really needs that tender, loving compassion, I'm going to send you to Sarah. Because I think we all have something to offer. I don't think you should just go to one medium. I think you should see as many mediums as you can And I think it should be a self-care thing, like once a month. Give yourself a little self-care, you know? I think it's part of the healing process. I think you'll heal better. And frankly, I think by visiting lots of different mediums, you'll get different answers. And you'll get different messages. You might even get different spirits if you're open to them. Um, yeah. So, yeah. And I agree, Alyssa, that everyone working together will definitely help reach the highest good, and we all need that. Yes. And I'm not in this business for money. Frankly, if I was in this business for money, the prices for everybody's readings would be twice as much. Okay? That's not why I'm not into this. And I know Sarah's not in it either. I think Sarah's currently paying her son's tombstone
services still, yeah.
Yeah, or a funeral service, whatever. You're paying for that very expensive thing. When a child dies unexpectedly, suddenly you have to pay for funeral arrangements and things like that. So I'm just saying, I think, you know, I'm so like, and hopefully everyone has checked out the thing in the group or on the page that you're on, or on Bright Hawk Productions YouTube page. We just released a beautiful meditation with handpan vibes. The handpan really opens to the other side. The first time I heard it is I actually was at like a fairy festival pretending to be a hobbit, and I was like, wow, you know, that instrument just kind of like, and I felt like I was standing on the edge of the woods, and there weren't very many people around at the event yet, and she was playing the instrument, and I was just listening to it, both being amplified, and I could also hear it because I was close enough to the stage, and all I could feel was like a portal or something opening, and I could feel it, and I knew at that time, I was like, wow, there's something about that instrument. That's a special instrument. And I'm just saying, so we use that music. And I wrote a guided meditation that should help you heal from grief, okay, and help you understand the other side in what I believe to be a healthy, healing way, okay? So, and I just think that if you can share it with anyone else that you know, if you know somebody that's really struggling, you know, like here Susan said, I just lost my brother-in-law. This has been a week from hell. My sister and him have 5 girls. Ugh, brings up so much heartache. And when you think your sister's ready, you know, Susan, send her that meditation. Send it to her. You can find it. It says healing from grief. So, you know, oh, oh, I was about to say, Carrie, no. It opened a portal because we were in the middle of the woods. But what it's going to do if you listen to the instrument, it's going to open you up to the other side, which is a really powerful thing to open up to your spirit guides. And there's nothing that can hurt you. Like there's some people that have made up some kooky stories about that. No spirit can hurt you ever. It's not going to happen. Never. The only way evil spirits exist is if you believe in evil babies. Okay? JR sending you love.
Well,
it's very
thank
sweet.
you.
And so, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I was just going to say, 100% listen to Hollis's meditation. I listened to it last night. I love the handpan. And just listening to Hollis's voice is, they say they're very blunt, but I listen to so many guided meditations because otherwise I can't focus. And Hollis just has this way with their voice. And yeah, it's I put it in one of the top meditations. I'm very picky when I listen to guided meditations. I've heard a few good ones, but it's like they have a list. So they're like, close your eyes. And then I'm like, no, I can't. So if you want to do meditation, guided, listen to all this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you feel she's open, Susan, when it's the right time. Tracy, whatever page you're on, just go look when we're done this. Just go look at the post because it's probably on that page. It's also posted in the group. It's got quite a bit of comments on it, so you should be able to find it. But just look for it says like meeting your loved ones on a beach guided meditation. So that it's very much like that. Tracy, I'll try to work on getting you a link, but I have a procedure tomorrow, so I'll do my best about that. Okay. It won't take you but a minute. If you just look, it's the very last thing I posted today. Okay. Yeah, it's on YouTube, JR. Under, if I don't know which YouTube you're on right now. Are you on Brighthawks or are you on Divine Androgen? So if you're on Brighthawk, it's her most recent release. So we just released this. You could just go to YouTube and search for Bright Hawk Productions and you should find it. Okay. Shouldn't be hard to find. Okay, so JR, so since you're on YouTube, when this is done, just search Bright Hawk Productions. Okay, and you'll find it. I might have it up here. Let's see what this is. Oh no, that's I guess. Okay, so I'm a kind of a YouTuber. like I like I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Yeah, it's already got tons of views already, and lots of people are really loving this one. It's particularly special, and I would say that this really I put a lot of intention into this, and my spirit guides were like, "No, Hollis, you need to make one specifically for people that are grieving," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So there's the link. I just put it up. There it is. Okay. So, you're welcome, Bianca. We're glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. Vicky said, I could have used this 10 years ago. I totally get it, Vicky. You know what? When my dad died like 20 years ago, I wished I had this. And I did have some of this because back then I was on, remember AOL chat rooms? I was on AOL chat rooms in medium reading chat rooms, and that was where I learned how to do medium readings for others. So yeah. All right, you guys, and do you have anything else you want to say, Sarah?
I just want to thank everyone who came tonight. I really appreciate your words of support. It's been a pleasure. I really take it as a great honor for those of you just trusting me to do this. I was going to say for Carrie, don't feel bad. Sooner or later, you'll probably get a reading from me, and that's fine. I strongly believe trust in your instincts, in your guts, where you're being drawn to, especially for mediumship. Go. It's fine. I don't take offense. I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful night or morning, day, wherever you are in the world. Sending you all my love to wrap around you, my strength to hold you tight, and my healing light to guide you through this grief journey. And remember, it's okay to not be okay, and one day at a time. Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.